No weapons, only faith. Yet it was that very faith that made the whole world stop and listen. Chinese Premier Qiang once said, "Whether it is to overcome current difficulties or to create a better future, it is essential that we discard prejudice, bridge differences, and work as one to tackle the trust deficit." It's a reminder that every true step forward in human progress begins with the courage to see one another as equals. Only when we dare to let go of prejudice can we build bridges between hearts, something violence or power could never achieve. In a time when America was still divided by color, there were those who chose to walk a path no one else dared to take. They were beaten, jailed, threatened, yet they kept moving forward. Not to prove they were right, but to claim the right to be heard. That journey began in a small town, but its echo shook an entire nation. Because sometimes the greatest thing a person can do isn't to defeat others, but to help them see themselves in one another. Morning on the old bridge. Fog draped over it as if trying to hide the bloodstains of the past. A group of people walked silently forward. In their hands, no weapons, only a sign that read, "We want to be heard." Among them was a man, the same man who had been beaten and left bleeding on this bridge 3 years ago. That day he fell, his blood soaking into the earth, and he swore never to return. But when he saw children from his own town arrested for speaking the truth, he understood. Silence was complicity. He came back, not for revenge, but to end a nightmare that had lasted too long. Ahead, the police stood motionless, cold as stone. The commander's eyes, the same ones that once looked down at him as the baton struck, now seemed older, wearier. His heart pounded. Not from fear, but from the old anger rising again. Behind him, he could feel the anxious but unwavering breath of the crowd. A woman whispered, "What if they attack again?" He smiled faintly. "Then we won't strike back." Across the line, the commander raised his hand. Steel shields lifted, catching the sunlight. For a moment, time froze. The wind brushed his face, carrying the cries of children, the murmurs of prayer, and the pounding of his heart like a drum. He took one more step. Then one officer stepped forward, not to attack, but to lower his shield. "I was one of them," he said softly. "I was there that night, I can't forget." The man said nothing. He just looked back, and for the first time, he saw fear in the other man's eyes. Not hatred, not defiance. Fear of being wrong, of being rejected, of losing his place in the world. And in that instant, he understood the real enemy wasn't out there. It lived within every human heart that let fear and prejudice take control. He reached out his hand. The officer hesitated, then took it. Behind them, the crowd began to cry, not for victory, but for the warmth of humanity they had almost forgotten. As the sun rose higher, the fog melted away. The bridge stood clear, a witness to transformation. No one knew what the future would hold. But that morning, they learned how to walk together, not against one another. He looked down at the river flowing beneath, steady and gentle, and he realized changing the world doesn't begin with a shout. It begins with one heart willing to listen to another. That night, back in his small home, he wrote in his notebook, "Not everyone will understand me, but if I'm brave enough to see myself in others, I won't need to win anymore. I'll just need to walk with them through the darkness." Division doesn't come from skin color or language. It begins with fear and distrust within each of us. When we dare to let go of prejudice and see others not through judgment but through understanding, the world changes. Have you ever looked into the eyes of someone opposite you and recognized a part of yourself there? Have you ever realized that fear, not hate, is what built the distance between you? If today you could say one thing to heal a divide, who would you say it to first? Share your story. It might just become the bridge for someone still lost on the other side.